Hey guys, welcome back to Bariatric Beauty and Finishing School. My name is Kelsey and I am a 11-year post-op of gastric bypass. I have lost 256 pounds, so if you want to hear all about what to do during the holidays and eating in the holidays, stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to Bariatric Beauty and Finishing School. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the holidays. I mean, we just went through Thanksgiving. If you are like me and you're not American, maybe you didn't go through Thanksgiving. But if you do live here in the US, which I do, we just went through a holiday centered completely around food. It feels to me like, you know, Thanksgiving in the United States is all about the meal. It's all about what we're gonna eat. Where I grew up, it wasn't so much about that. We did have a turkey, but that's not what the day centered around. The day centered around hanging out with family, skating outside on the marsh, building a snowman, all kinds of family fun things. When I think about Thanksgiving growing up, I don't even remember what we ate. It feels like more and more we're gearing towards what are we gonna eat? And after you've had weight loss surgery, that's a really hard conversation to have with people because we're used to having things like candied sweet potatoes with caramel sauce and marshmallows, or 3 kinds of pie, or 2 kinds of stuffing. So I wanted to take some time and talk to you guys. I did make a video before Thanksgiving about this topic. It just didn't come across like how I wanted to. It came across very preachy, which is not what I'm about, especially given that I am dealing with a regain myself. So I want to talk to you guys just kind of open and honest about what to do during the holidays, how to stay successful, and that's it. So first things first. The holidays, Christmas, it's not about food. I know as overweight people and as people who loved food, we tend to think that's what it's about. It's about Christmas baking, it's about Christmas dinner, it's about snacks and chocolate and all these decadent desserts. But I'm here to tell you, Christmas is about spending time with those you love. It's about giving great gifts and being thankful for having an awesome year. If you're religious, it obviously has definitely other sort of meaning. But for me personally, Christmas is about spending time with my friends and family, buying gifts and giving gifts that people will love and be happy about. It's about decorating my home for the holidays. It's about snow and skating and all kinds of awesome stuff. So when you feel like you're getting bogged down in the sort of feeling like, oh, well, I can't enjoy my grandmother's famous cookies or whatever, take a step back and think of something non-food related that you love about Christmas, and that will help you out a lot. So let's talk about Christmas parties first of all. So this time of year, lots of Christmas parties, lots of snacks, appetizers, fattening foods, cocktails, those kind of things. In my last video, I talked to you about a great alternative to traditional drinks around the holidays. Truly is great no matter what season it is. In fact, I was introduced to it in the summer, but Truly would make a great drink or even a punch for a Christmas party. Pour that into a nice wine glass, add some cranberries or maybe a couple raspberries to it, and you have the perfect drink. It's 100 calories a can, no carbs, no sugar. You're not gonna get sick, and you're staying on a track. Isn't that the best part? So as far as Christmas parties, what do you bring? Well, there is a wealth of information on the internet. It's truth. The one website that I go to, the only website that I go to, is bariatriceating.com for recipes. Why? Well, I know the woman who wrote them all, and she wrote them all because she's also a post-op. She's also lost weight. She's also faced a regain, and she's also lost her regain. So this is someone that I trust, knows what's really gonna work, and it's not a quick fix or some rando fad diet to get you through life. But beyond that, she's also a really great cook. So if you want ideas on cookies to bring, or you want to bring a pie to a Christmas party, or appetizers, or you're gonna host a Christmas party, what do you make that you can actually enjoy? She has so much info on there. So check it out. There's a link down below in the description box. You can go right on over and check out these recipes. The thing that you have to be careful of, and the thing that I fell into when I was first post-op, is there are a lot of people on the internet trying to sell you stuff. sell you cookbooks, sell you links, sell you diet plans, all these things. And there's a lot of stuff out there that's not true. The keto diet is one that is specific. I'm gonna make a video on why I think keto diet is crap, but you don't have to do some kind of a fad, crazy diet to eat well and enjoy it. You just don't. So be careful of people that you follow online. I trust bariatric eating completely. I know the people who own the company and run the company. I know the woman who writes all the recipes. And I know that she has both her own best interests as far as being a post-op who wants good food, but also our best interests as well. So if you find someone else who does that for you, make sure you vet them accordingly. There was one blog that I followed for quite a few years early into my very first regain while I was pregnant, and she led me astray. She was someone who had this significant weight loss, had kept off all this weight. Whether or not she was eating her own recipes, I don't know. But I can tell you that by eating her recipes, I gained 100 pounds and a baby. But be careful of what you see online. So let's talk about some easy snacks that you can bring for Christmas parties. Well, have you heard of a veggie platter? Listen, everybody loves veggies, especially these days. Almost everyone wants to be more healthy. So if you bring a veggie platter with a great dip, it's a game changer. There are tons of great, not high fat, not high carb, not high calorie dips that you can make. Guacamole is a great one. People are really into like fresh cooking these days. So whip up a bruschetta. Easy peasy. Leave out the bread and make it with something else. You can use lettuce cups, are an awesome way that you can display really beautifully, and people can create their own little bruschetta lettuce cups, or you can do chicken cups if it's like a dinner party. I don't know if you guys have P.F. Chang's where you live, but before I had surgery, P.F. Chang's was my favorite place to eat. And they had these chicken lettuce wraps that were just incredible. You can make those quite easily, and guess what? They're super low in carb, high in protein because of the chicken, and they're made with lettuce. If you're like me and you're more plant-based, you can fill it with avocados and tomatoes and all kinds of great things. There is a wealth of things in the perimeter of the grocery store that is great for us to make into snacks and food that we can enjoy and be healthy and stay on track. So, a couple of things to be mindful of. Anything that is completely submerged in sauce. Sauces are tricky. Sauces are generally full of what? Sugar. Yeah, because it makes them taste great, right? So if you eat a few of those meatballs or some of those little weenie dogs completely covered in a bunch of sugar, what's gonna happen? In about 30 minutes, you're gonna wanna lay under that table and feel like you're dying. It sucks. And you're at a Christmas party and everyone's like, what's wrong? And suddenly your weight loss surgery is thrust into the spotlight. So be careful and mindful of anything full of sauce. The second thing to be mindful of are the little mini treats. Again, usually full of sugar. So just be careful. If you want to indulge in a tiny piece of cheesecake, by all means, it's the holidays. You can enjoy yourself. But if you're like me and moderation does not work for you, then just steer clear. Find something else that works better, right? Right. The third thing, I guess, that to be mindful of is the carbs. So generally, holiday parties are filled with what? Chips, crackers, breads, breadsticks, rolls, all these kind of finger-friendly foods that aren't going to be good for your waistline. Not only that, I'm not saying that one night of bad eating at a Christmas party is going to derail your whole life, but let me tell you, the day you let all those carbs and all that refined wheat and flour back into your diet, guess what? Tomorrow, you're going to be craving it even worse. The next day, it's going to be even worse. And the more that you give in, the more it's going to take to give it up. I can tell you when I started making tortilla pizzas, thinking that these were the greatest things I ever found because I love pizza, and tortillas were what this woman said will help me to stay on track. It was the beginning of the end for me because now I just wanted carbs all the time. So be mindful of the carbs on your plate. There's a great thing that I learned from the 2B mindset as far as holiday eating, and this was talking more about Labor Day weekend and barbecues, but take what you want on your plate. If you're going to indulge in a few things, fine, but follow the rules. Water first, 30 ounces of water before you start. Then start with veggies most, then your protein. Then if you're still hungry after the veggies and the protein, go ahead, indulge on that small snack or that little treat or whatever it is, and stop. Give yourself some time, drink some water. If you're still hungry, then you start again. Veggies most, then your protein. If you're still hungry, go ahead and indulge in a treat. This is gonna help to regulate the cycle so you're not just sitting at the little mini cheesecake bar, just popping them in your mouth and letting it go. The other thing is I wanted to talk to the people who are doing Christmases with their families at home. You don't have to make a scene that you had weight loss surgery and you can't eat that. And you also don't have to indulge in things that you know you shouldn't be eating just because your family is pressuring you to. So remember the day that you laid on that operating table and you had your body open to have weight loss surgery? Nobody else did that. That was you. So you get to decide what goes into your body. It's not your aunt who made this famous thing and is gonna have her heart broken if you don't eat it, because she's not. It's not about the grandma who's pushing this stuff on your plate saying, well, you look too skinny or you look too fat. Should you be eating that? Holidays are the time for fun and happiness. So you need to do what's best for you. What's best for me is I set boundaries with my family immediately. They now know I'm not gonna indulge in all these things I shouldn't be eating, even though someone took all this hard work and all this time to make it, and I appreciate all of that they put into it. But it's just not for me. And it's not for me because I value my health and my body and my journey over one night of eating. And so do you. Deep down, I know you do too. So have that conversation if it comes up. You don't have to explain yourself. You can just say, no thank you. If they push it, walk away. It's not the time to get into arguments about who's healthy and who's not and why you're not gluten-free or why you're not vegan or these kind of things, because nobody really wants to hear that around the holidays. It's true. I have found that taking food that I know I can eat eliminates the possibility of there not being anything for me to eat or of me having to eat something that's maybe not good for me. I learned my lesson early on that most people's home cooking isn't very bariatric friendly, and that's okay. So they're not going to be offended if you bring a dish that you know you can eat too to share with everybody else. And you don't have to proclaim this is a sugar-free, low-carb anything. Just say I brought this to share with everyone. Nobody wants to eat the diet food on the holidays, right? Nobody's like, oh, I can't wait to have this, low carb, whatever. Just make the dessert, make it pretty, make the casserole, make it pretty, make whatever it is you're gonna make that you know is healthy for you, and share it with your family and friends. Nobody needs to rattle off what the nutritional label would look like, right? Right. The other thing I want to talk about is holiday gifts. So I used to work in retail in one of the most famous department stores in the world. And my clients came from all over the world. And they would bring me these beautiful, extravagant gifts at Christmas. And the majority of them would be chocolate. And I had a couple come in from Belgium, and they brought me this beautiful box of Belgian chocolates. And I was about halfway through losing my regain at that point. I was dedicated, I was on track, I was in control. And I knew that indulging in these chocolates, even one, was gonna set me off. So I hugged them and I said thank you, and I took it, and I loved that box of chocolates. But as I was walking out the door for the night, I handed them to our very, very cold security team and said, Merry Christmas, guys. It's easy to turn around and re-gift something, even something that was such a beautiful gesture from these people that they brought all the way from Belgium for me. It just wasn't in the plan for me to consume it. So I took it, I appreciated it, I thanked them, and then I turned around and made somebody else's day. You can do that too. You can take those teachers' gifts or those nurses' gifts or those gifts from anyone when they bring those bags of cookies around or those kind of things, and re-gift them to somebody else who is going to appreciate them just as much as you did, but who can actually eat them. It's not worth getting sick or a stomachache or throwing yourself off track for a little bit of chocolate. Also, I try my very best not to give food-related gifts. Why? Because I don't want food-related gifts. And these days, people are going through so many things with their diet, with nutrition. There's so many different ways of eating. A lot of people are vegan or vegetarian, or they're on keto or whatever. Food-based gifts need to go out. They need to go out of style. Instead, give flowers or give something more thoughtful like a journal, gift cards, those kind of things. Food-based gifts are hard, and then it takes you out of that chocolate aisle to be shopping through all those delicious looking chocolates and that kind of thing. I will say for Christmas morning, I like to have an indulgent, a dark chocolate piece to enjoy with the family while they're all opening their stockings with their chocolates and their Ferrero Rochers and all that stuff. And that's fine. That's a thing that I like to do. You don't have to, but find something that works for you that's not going to throw you completely off track, because one day is not worth throwing you completely off track. Because take it from me, and I know how hard it is to stay on track, to continue to try to regain, to maintain your weight. We talk a lot about losing the weight initially, and you know what? Losing the weight initially was the easiest thing I've ever done. When I was going through it, it was hard. I was sick all the time. But you know what? My path was so paved and lined for me. I knew exactly what to do. I knew at 7 weeks out I could have this kind of broth. I knew at a year out I could eat this. Yeah, well, it's the next 10 years that there's no real game plan. And to maintain a weight loss, or to lose or regain, or to maintain your goal weight takes so much energy, and it takes a lot of courage and dedication and motivation. And one day of eating off track can disrupt that. It has for me in the past. So if you're like me and you struggle, don't let one day of eating completely throw you off track. Enjoy the holidays, love your friends and family, focus on the holiday itself, whether you're religious or not. Focus on the love and the laughter and having fun and singing Christmas carols, and leave the cookies and the hot chocolate to somebody else. All right, you guys, that is how to cope with the holidays from bariatric beauty and finishing school. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I am more than willing to answer any of your questions. I'm sorry if the comments and your emails are slow. I have a lot going on right now. I wear a lot of different hats, so I will get back to you as soon as I can. But all right, guys, and from my family to yours, happy holidays. I'll see you in the next video.